Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Michelle Davis, and I'm your guest host today for Pep Talks in the Morning. We are here and joined by our lovely candidate for Port of Spain South, Gail Castaneda. Gail, how are you this morning?
I am good. I am good. Nice to be here.
Good. Good. It's so nice to have you here. Trinidad and Tobago, we are taking this opportunity in the next coming weeks to introduce you to our candidates, to really deep dive the issues that are plaguing their constituencies and get their view and their constituents' view on the issues that are currently facing the country. As many of us know, we are in election mode, we are in election season. It is busy right now. We are hitting the ground to get the message across to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. As part of head of mobilization, it is a task for many of us that are on the ground that are trying to spread the message and really make the public aware that there are options. But I believe the country is getting woke. I believe the country wants change. I believe the country is saying now is the time for change. So, Gail, tell the audience a bit about yourself. Just give us some a little bio.
Okay. Good morning, Michelle again, and good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Well, I went to school, Nelson
Okay,
Street Girls, and
okay,
then I passed for Belmont Junior Sec, and I finished secondary school at East Mukurapo.
okay.
I have three handsome sons doing well. I must say I am very proud. Born and bred on Nelson Street.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
I am a masonry instructor by profession. I teach at the
Okay.
MIC Institute of Technology at the Laventel Center.
Excellent, Gail. Excellent. So, Gail, what is unique about you is you are directly from the constituency. You
Yes,
know you are born and raised there and understand the issues plaguing your constituency. So, for those that
yes,
are watching from Port of Spain South, this is, you have someone that is there to represent you that understands the issue. So, Gail, what are some of the issues plaguing your constituency?
okay, well, in my constituency have a lot of issues. I think almost everything is a problem in my constituency. But the main things I would like to highlight is the education, where the youths, a lot of youths waste their time every day, right? Lying on the block, smoking, drinking, and a bit of the water. Water of lately, it is deplorable in the sense that when you open your tap, the water is dirty, very dirty, right? But the education is mostly what I would like to address.
Right. And Gail, has there been any development? I mean, because, as far as I can remember, I know Port of Spain South has been neglected, but has there been anything significant in the past, 20 years, 10 years to your constituency that could have perhaps brought any hope to the constituents? Is there anything, or have you just been really neglected?
Well, I could say my age. I'm 45 years,
Right.
and in this constituency, I haven't really seen anything that is being done, whether it's for the elders, the youth, nothing much. Recreation went through the window, where activities like football, I remember growing up on Nelson Street, we used to have little football matches, the cricket,
Yeah.
basketball, everything just gone. Nothing.
Yes.
Yeah. No
You
kind of
you are
activities at
so
all
right.
whatsoever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you are so right. I was telling someone, that the same thing down here in Deep South in Cedros. I remember the football being a really, during the August months, we would have the
Yeah,
football league, because I would be here. I spent a lot of my childhood here, and I remember coming for summers, and the entire village was engaged in sports and activity. There was always something going on in the community, and
yeah,
when you look back then to when we were children, and you look now, you have to say, how can we see it and not those elected? Because that was a significant part of growing up in my days, your days. It was the sports, the activities. And Gail, why do you think that would be so
yeah.
important, especially to your constituency? Why do you think sports will be really a critical component for your constituency?
Well, everything in life is supposed to be like a all round in everything, right? Because you have
Right.
the education, you have the activities. Everything's supposed to be average, normal, equal. In my view, to be a well
Right.
rounded person, right? Um, these sports will kind of, to me, relieve your stress. If you have stress, the sports will help you relieve your stress, right? So I think the football and basketball and thing is a form of help help you being a all round person.
That is well said, and it's also a form of discipline, which is what the youths
Yeah,
are so lacking in Trinidad right now. Gail and I were talking prior to coming on air, and the youths just having, I mean, no direction, no hope as to their future, and that is a sad state of affairs. That is a
and
sad state of
yeah,
affairs.
and it has a
Yes.
lot. It have a lot of factors leading up to that. Now, people might hear me and be a bit, how to say, um, angry. What I want to say now, it have a
Disappointed.
lot to do with, yeah, disappointed. Yes, it have a lot to do with parenting. I have three boys. They went Newton Boys, East Mucurapo, Newton Boys, Southeast Secondary, and they're well-rounded boys. They did sports, dragon boats, cricket, and stuff like that. Now, parenting, you see, parenting have a lot to do with it. If you don't start, have set some sort of foundation, it will not lead up in the later years, right? As it won't lead up in the later years as anything good if you don't have a foundation to start with in the first place.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, you're so right. For those of for those watching, I mean, we know the difference between the generational discipline.
Yeah.
Because my mother, once she gave you the look, that was it. We knew we were doing something wrong, and that was it. Just the look showed you that you were out of line and you need to get back in line. So the discipline that we received in our generation, in your generation,
It
is
don't
so
happen now.
different. Right,
It's
right. And
different,
we don't
totally
have
different.
it. Correct, correct. Because you have a system, Gail, that has failed us. Remember, you have persons that are failing out of school. So young girls that are getting pregnant early. You have a
Yeah.
social downfall of society because remember, it starts at home, but then it continues. And then if you have a social system, nobody keeping track of these persons that are failing out of school. What's your take on that, Gail? Because a lot of people, a lot of young students are failing out
Oh,
of
yeah.
school. So, what is hope for them? Who's tracking them? What are we doing?
Well, as I said before, it have a lot of youths here never finish school, right? It have a lot to do with first I began the youths out here like they just rule their parents, some of them. They just rule their parents and you sense, okay, if you're 13, 14 years, why drop out of school? You're supposed to have a parent to guide you. So why drop out of school? What is really the issue for the parent to put down their foot and say, here, you have to finish the school, you have to finish it. Even if you don't end up with CXC passes like me, I then when I finished school, I end up with one CXC pass, right? But
Right.
my mother and my father made sure you leave school, at least finish school, get your
Yes.
school leaving, and you could take it from there. Not everybody is academically inclined. I was not,
Right.
right? I
Right.
got one
Right.
CXC pass, and then
Right.
every year for about 5 years,
Yes.
I took until I get my CXC pass. I was not inclined, and then when I finished, I got four level passes. I didn't get the five twos or the five ones, but I got twos and threes mixed there.
Yes.
I realized that um, I realized that it was not really for me, books.
Right.
So I decided to do a course. I decided to do a course in machine shop, right,
Mm-hmm.
in John D. And then I dropped out, right?
Right.
I dropped out. Then I did a basic course in welding.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't finish either. Then
Mm-hmm.
I did a course under the Ministry of, I believe, Community Development. That was a good bit of years now. And that was in masonry, also in John D. And I fell in love with it. So at least
Mm-hmm.
I had some sort of a choice, right? To
Yes.
instead of academics, I fall into something. So for this area, if you know you're not really into academics, you have other things
Right.
to do. Don't just lime around the block and you don't understand what I'm saying. Get involved with
Correct.
different things. Get involved. It
Yes.
have
Yes.
so much little thing to do in this area, right? But where the where the vocation education is concerned, we have programs
Yes.
like hype because I teach in the hype program, right? They have
Mm-hmm.
hype, it have the must, but that is level one and level two. So
Mm-hmm.
when for instance you finish level one, the level two, it don't really have anything in place. After it have the institutions for the science subjects, the degrees, the masters, law, IT, computer, stuff like that. But they don't
Mm-hmm.
really have that for the skill areas like carpentry,
Right.
masonry, a different ticket at a different level. That is what I would like.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, Gail, because we have to be a well-rounded society. Every citizen has to fit in somewhere. And that is you're an example of all of us are examples of fitting into society, right? Everyone
yeah,
has their role in society. A doctor is just as needed to a nation as a carpenter, a plumber. For all homeowners,
yeah.
for we all know there are
Right.
housing issues
Mm-hmm.
every day. So it is extremely important for society to know that every position plays a relevant part in the overall functionality of a country, right? But what we have
Yeah,
done lately, Gail, we kind of have ignored, for those elected, they've ignored the trades. They have ignored the supplemental education that might have been needed for persons that, as you said, not academically inclined. They serve a
mm-hmm.
purpose too. And that's what we need to realize, that you just don't cut them off because they don't fit in the
And
academic
yes,
program. Right?
yes,
You understand
yes,
what I'm
and
saying, Gil?
yes,
Yeah.
and mind you, although carpenters, the masons, and just as important as the doctors and the lawyers, they are not viewed so. The carpenters and masons, electricians, for some reason, they are not as prestigious as
Right.
the right. So I believe that is one thing I would like to see happen
Mhm.
once Progressive Empowerment Party gets into office. I'm saying when, not
Yes.
if, but when.
Yes.
I am saying when.
Yes.
Yes,
Good.
when I would like to see yes, yes, when I would like to see it have some sort of degree program
Mhm.
masters. They're getting a master's in carpentry, a
Right.
degree in electrical, things like that.
Yes. Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
Gail.
things that
Because
definitely needed.
exactly, because I don't know if the audience feels this way, but during COVID-19, we all were under lockdown, but there were certain
Yeah,
areas that stood out that were required. Of course, the nurses played such a critical part, but there were
yeah,
also things that you paid more attention to because you were under lockdown, such as trash collection, such as food delivery. All of a sudden, just I know in the US they pointed out that the significance of the food industry, I mean, just
yeah,
was highlighted during COVID-19 because we all couldn't go anywhere. But then we all realized how dependent we were, and able to buy food. So these areas that we seem to take for granted, we
yeah,
need them in society, and our youth have to feel, especially our youth, have to feel that they are valued. I mean, I know, inheriting in a house and living in an older house, I am constantly calling a plumber, a carpenter, something need to fix
yeah.
around the house, and it is critical to the house. I mean, for to function. If something goes
Yeah,
wrong.
very
So
critical
yes,
because
Gail,
yeah, very critical because you can't call a lawyer to fix your toilet when it's leaking. You need a plumber,
correct,
and the plumber, right?
correct,
And the plumber now, of course, in order to do the job, you have to have a certification, right? So
right.
skilled trades are not valued as how it should supposed to be.
Yes,
It is not
Gail. Yes.
valued.
And how long have you been teaching, Gail? How long have you been in that industry teaching?
Almost 12, almost 12 years. Almost 12 years.
Wow. Right, right.
Yes.
So now
And
that you're
I
on
love
the ground, I know.
it.
I love teaching too. I think it is one of the most rewarding um professions out there. When you feel you have got to a student, I don't know if you feel that way, but when
Yeah,
I reach and get to a student, I feel wow.
yeah. Well, I work with the young adults between 16 to 25, and it have a lot of them, as I said, can't read properly and stuff. But when you teach them that luckily and the plastering, right, the tiling, they feel a sense of pride, joy. They could do something for themselves. This is how the youths need to feel, right? Not only
Yeah.
appreciated, but yes. So they need to feel appreciated, right? And
Yeah.
yeah, and some of them even when they leave the course, they'll meet many road and say, Miss, I work in construction now, and I
Yeah.
and all will feel proud. Yeah,
Yes, Gail, you should be, because you are turning someone's life around. That's such a critical age. Hope could be totally just gone because they passed the school age, and now you're saying, if there wasn't something available, what do you do? But Gail, now that you're on the ground, what type of work you're doing, what type of feedback you're getting on the ground? Give the audience a
okay.
feel for what you're going through.
Well, I did some walkabouts in the areas like Pleasant Terrace, St. Paul Street, Clifton Hill, Beverly Hills, John, areas like that. And well, the feedback, it's a mixed feedback, not really
Mhm.
negative per se, but I believe people, they want a change.
Right.
Generally, they want a change. They're fed up. They want something new for themselves. They want something better for themselves. But they are afraid in the sense that they're not. They know what they have, although it might be bad. However, they want a change, but they're just afraid to take that step to something new. So you have to try to
Yeah.
convince them, especially the youths. The older
Yeah.
heads already, is either paying them till they're dead or they're not voting. But we
Right.
need to, yes, we need to reach the youths especially.
Yes. And Gail, what would you tell the youths, for the youths listening right now? Why would you say, what would you tell them to vote for change? Why, what would be your message to them?
Well, I would like to tell them that the Progressive Empowerment Party intends to change a lot of things for the nation, and well, change is good, and the youths need to trust someone, right, in order to get
Mhm.
some sort of betterment in the constituency as well as the country. So I would like them to
Right.
just trust the Progressive Empowerment Party, trust that we'll work for them in all form and fashion, right? And from there we take it from there.
Gail, that is, when I do a walkabout, sometimes you become speechless because sometimes you're in diehard constituencies, either side, and you're trying to say why you need change, and you give, but that word trust is so critical in politics, right? Because right now nobody trusts our current
Nobody.
administration or our previous. Yes.
Yeah. Even some residents told me that after they vote for the present government here, the PNM, that they was neglected, overlooked
Yes.
for many weeks, disregarded, like there's just used, abused, and refused. A lot of them, all up on Macano Alley, a lot of them told me that it's not working for them. Certain things they was expecting, and it just not
Mm.
working for them. Right? So I will talk to them. I will talk to them normal, just
Yes, yes,
what they would like to see happen in the community. What is an issue a lot in Laventille, in
right.
John, the
Yes.
drains. Ooh, the drains is ridiculous. Like
So, so
nobody
there's
cares
no
for these.
maintenance going on there. No maintenance with the
No,
drains, no cleanup, no
no,
local government. Yeah.
no. It was as I lost for words. When I went up there, it's like a shanty town. So
Yes.
garbage all over the road need cleaning. I want to know if people have to be living in this way.
Yes.
It is ridiculous. I lost for words.
Yeah, Gail, I don't blame you, because when you look at areas that are so neglected, it is so saddening because we are a still very rich country. And for citizens to be in that filth, as I would, I want to say it bluntly, it is filth that some of our citizens live in. And most of these neglected communities are die-hard communities. They are communities
Yes.
where their vote is taken for granted. Their vote is, I mean, one thing stood out yesterday. I was coming back from a walkabout, so of course I had a drive. And, I passed through Point, and, Point 410 is known as a die-hard PNM area. And the roads, I mean,
Yeah.
it's literally at the path there. The roads are so bad in Point 410 and environs that you
Mm.
literally just don't even have to press the gas. You just can let the car roll because you know your car is going to get damaged if you accelerate. But what stood out to me, Gail, I don't know if this is the same in Port of Spain South. They're not even doing anything anymore. They're not even trying to fool the citizens. There's been no effort to
No
do
effort
nothing.
whatsoever. Yeah, no effort whatsoever. It's like, okay, they know what they're getting, which is nothing. You're accustomed to get
Right.
nothing, so they're not doing
Right.
nothing. Simple as that. That is how it looks to me. It looks to me as if nothing is
Yes.
being done. But ask the question. Now, for instance, I said I will live on Nelson Street, born and bred on Nelson Street. What is the difference in Nelson Street, the George Street, the Duncan Street, than the Woodbrook and St. James? Because Woodbrook and St. James in Port au Prince also Bonds Road, right?
Right.
Um, Lewis Street, Carlos Street, Anna Street. Those is how to say quote unquote prestigious areas, how to say it, good houses.
Yes,
Most of
yes,
the
yes.
what is the difference? Sometimes I be confused to know that okay, same Port of Spain South, Woodbrook, Nelson Street, St. James, East Dry River. What is the difference? Our area so dilapidated compared to the
Right.
Woodbrook and St. James, right?
Just
What is
literally minutes away.
minutes
Literally.
away? Yeah,
Right.
so that is to tell you that they don't value the people around here. They have so many things they could do for this area. You don't have to make no big high rise buildings, but they
No,
need to do.
no.
Yeah, just watching at the area.
Yes.
Um, it's a bit depressing. Just watching at the
Yes.
area. You yourself have to try to do something for yourself, right?
Yes.
Approximately, well, almost years ago, I lost everything in a fire, right here on Nelson Street,
Right.
right? I lost
Right.
everything. Um, I was homeless for about almost a month before I get back some
Right.
a building to, before I get somewhere to
Yes.
stay. And
Yes.
I tell you, sometimes you feel as if you have no hope whatsoever. I had to sleep by people. I had three boys
Mm-hmm.
as well, I had three boys. Two went by the father, the next one went here, my mother went here, and so you lost hope all the way wrong. You lost the faith, right? I myself was
Yes.
a PNM. I had voted PNM,
Yes.
grandmother, father, mother, the whole family. But then I opened my
Yes.
eyes, what it is we getting as representation, and I could
Correct.
nothing we getting.
Correct. Correct.
Okay,
And
I
you
might
know,
sound
Gail,
like
you're mentioning, yes, you're mentioning this, it really resonating with me how you mentioned, Woodbrook being just a few minutes away. And we know when you pass through Woodbrook, it's a very well maintained area, as minutes away. So is this
yeah,
deliberate? And these are the things we have to start asking ourselves as citizens. Is this deliberate neglect? Because you can't have an area minutes away from the John and Nelson Street, and it be such a vast difference of maintenance. So, which means they are deliberately passing through Woodbrook, fixing, cleaning, picking up trash, and they are
yeah.
saying no to a stone's throw away. That is what is going on, ladies and gentlemen, and that's what citizens need to realize.
Yes, I believe that it just blatantly disregarding these areas, blatantly
Yes,
disregarding
yes,
these areas. I find it so wrong.
yes.
It's these areas that need the assistance.
You know,
Not go ahead.
no, so go what you're
Not
saying. No, go what you're saying.
yeah, right. Not 10 days or a food card or a hamper or anything like that. We need employment. We need all different jobs in this area. These
Yes,
buildings need to be fixed. Plumbing bad, everything is like we just
yes,
totally,
yes.
totally overlooked.
Gail, you know what we are? We are a handout nation, eh? And when the political parties use these URP and these food cards as handout, we the citizens are saying, you know what, this is what I'm worth. These little pennies of token
Yes,
crumbs, as I say it. I told somebody that yesterday. Are you worth more than that? Because you are. I don't know if you know that, but you are worth more than that. You are worth more than a little 4 or 5, 10
yeah,
days during the year. You need a sustainable income. You need a long term employment. 10 days is not going to get you anywhere. It is meant to keep you in the same position from a
Yeah.
societal view. It is just going to buy you groceries and that is it. And you are not going to go anywhere in society. But Gail, what is even, and I know you will know that coming from that, from a diehard community, it is brainwashing them to think you're not
Mental
worth it.
entrapment. I call it
Right.
mental entrapment. No matter
Yes,
what they get, they take. They deserve better.
yes,
Everybody out
yes,
here, laugh until the St. Paul, the Clifton, and everybody out here need betterment, need better for themselves. Don't settle for less. Don't settle, set a
yes,
standard for yourself and go for that standard. This is what
yes,
I'm like, so emotional, but people here, from what I see, they lose hope, all hope. So they just settle with what they get,
yes,
right? And they're not
yes.
getting anybody to represent them properly. Solid representation and not getting around here. So whatever they get, they take and they live with that.
Yeah. And the minimal, I saw an article, I think it was Friday no, Saturday it was over the weekend, that C Lot Tom was saying they hadn't seen their once election is over, that's it. That's the only time they see their candidate, their MP, is during election season. I do, for Port of Spain South, you could give me some feedback. Do you see your representation enough to say it can make a difference?
No, we don't see our we I should say, well, growing up on Elsa Street, I saw Marlene McDonald once, walking through Nelson Street once. I never see, otherwise I could be wrong, but I never
Right.
see any kind of interaction with the residents around here. In order to see her, you
Yes.
have to go and see her. You have to go and see her. But from my knowledge, no. I saw her when my place did burn,
Yes.
my apartment did burn, and that was about it. And I
Yes.
didn't get
Yes.
anything like, yeah, any assistance. I didn't get any assistance.
Right. Right. You
No.
just had to start from scratch. You just
I just
started
start from
from scratch.
scratch. I got 5 mattress and 5 pillows from the corporation,
Right.
and that night I got a temporary place to stay, and that was it. All the letters, I got so many letters to
Mhm.
go to different ministries, and I got nothing. I had to start
Right.
from scratch. Yeah.
Yes, and that is what we do in Trinidad. We have a lot of letter writing and a lot of direction, forwarding the citizens to this, forwarding the citizens to that, go here, go there, and it just makes the entire process of anything done in Trinidad and Tobago so difficult. That is why we say at the Progressive Empowerment Party, nothing works. Because here you are hearing Gail say, you get a lot of letters, you get a lot of direction, you go here, refer to this one, but at the same time, you get nowhere as a citizen. And what
No.
ends up happening, didn't you give up, Gail? Because I have a situation with a regional corporation, 9 years now, nothing.
Okay. Well, I went through the process about 2 years after the fire, this ministry, that ministry, and after I gave up, I just gave up. I said, okay, Gail, you're working no matter whatever your salary is, you can work it out, do your thing for yourself. I just give up.
Hmm.
I did
Yes.
everything for
And
myself.
it's meant, and Gail, I want you to know it's meant, it's deliberate because the way the system works in Trinidad and anything to get anything done. I was talking to someone in
Yeah.
the USA, Trinidadian. He just
Hmm.
recently relocated. So he said, Michelle, he went to get some administration done, social security number. And he said in less than an hour he got through. Now, he just left Trinidad prior to COVID-19, right? So he
Okay.
was astounded, Gail, at the 1 hour processing time to get this done, right? Which you and I know if we went in Trinidad, it would have been come back. It would have been, you have a
So
few
many
days
times.
to
Yeah.
wait.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
That
So
is
he was,
exactly how the system is here. So, because here how I look at it, right? I using myself as an example. No, I was pretty much homeless, living by somebody, and the speed in which these ministries go. No, you lost everything, you have to eat. No, you'll expect the next day when you go to a ministry that you might get a food card or whatever, at least to assist you because you lost everything. You don't have a stove to cook on. And I will
Yes.
go and they will say, come back next week. Okay. When I reach here the next week, come back the next week. I even went a time and they told me that the supervisor was on holidays. So if I was not working, I might not be sitting down here right now. I might be dead.
Yes,
Mm,
yes. But Gail, just imagine, remember, you are, like you said, you are working. Imagine those that have for decades haven't been working. They do it at 10 days, once every couple of months. Imagine
yeah.
what they would be
Mhm.
experiencing. And the audience needs to, citizens, we need to wake up how when we say at the Progressive Empowerment Party, nothing works, this is what we mean. These are clear examples of a system that is set up holistically to frustrate the citizens of a country. I went, Gail, and I go back and forth because I have my mother. I have a 95-year-old mother, so I go to the States to visit her, and I come back.
Okay.
And during
Mm-hmm.
that time, I had to process my birth certificate. Right now, when you hear that in Trinidad, you already know, oh Lord. But I left at 8 o'clock, I got there for 9 in the US, and Gail, 9:05, I was walking out the office with a printed birth certificate. Just
Okay.
imagine.
Yes, but the other day I went organized same birth certificate and the line was long, long, long. I stayed about almost 3 hours. 3 hours in order to, yes, almost the line was long, and well, with the COVID, you have
Right,
to stay even longer,
right,
right?
right.
So
It is,
imagine it's already long. Imagine the waiting process is long, and now with the COVID, I saw a long line yesterday by legal affairs, all outside.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
I've
So
actually gone to legal affairs, Gail, and had to turn back because,
yeah, the
there's
line.
it was like an S. It was an S.
Yes.
And that was a few years ago, and I literally had to turn back. Coming from Cedras, I could not sustain the wait. She literally had no estimated time. She literally, and there was like 100 people in front of me.
Yeah, the lines now the lines even longer. The banks, the ministry, everywhere, everywhere. The system is slow, very
Yes,
slow,
yes,
and
yes,
it has some,
very
like for me,
deliberately slow.
I don't have I. It has some people who just get worn out and tired with the system. Me especially, I get tired and worn out with the systems they have in Trinidad. Everywhere you go,
Yes,
you
yes,
can't do anything and be out in a 10, 15 minutes. No, sometimes it's
no,
hours.
no, no. And
Sometimes
days,
even in the
days,
hospital. Oh my
sometimes
God.
come back. Yes,
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 yes.
even in the hospital.
Exactly. Gail, we're talking issues and stuff, but what PEP policy really stands out to you and why? And why do you think that PEP policy would help your community?
Okay, well, hello? Hello?
Yes, yes, hearing
You
you.
hearing me?
I'm hearing you.
Okay.
Yeah,
You can repeat your breakup there a little bit. Can you repeat, please?
yeah, no problem. What PEP policy stands out to you and why do you think that policy would help your community?
Okay, well, the policy that stand out to me is the housing policy, right?
Okay,
It stand out, yes, because seeing that the community, the Police Bay South community, even if you're employed in this area, you might be working for minimum wage. A lot of people be
right.
working, in the restaurants, the KFC, the Subway, right?
Yes.
And they can't really afford a
Hmm.
expensive house. Or they went, you'll have to take a loan or go by TTMF to get a loan to buy a
Right,
house. I like the
right.
policy in the progressive empowerment. party, the policies that they have pertaining to the house that stand out the most for me. So
Yes.
at least everybody will be able to own their own house. That is so important. The paying rent, paying
Yes.
rent. Rent is dead money.
Yes.
Rent is
Yeah.
dead money. Keep on paying the
Right.
rent. Well, in this area here, you're living on the Nelsons, you're living on the Nelson Street, you're living on the George Street, but you want betterment for yourself, so you like to get your own home. So that is the policy that stand out more for me. That the minimum wage
Yes.
residents could earn
Yes.
to get a house of their own. Yeah.
Correct, because we say at the Progressive Empowerment Party, the opportunity for first-time home buyers should be available. So zero interest, 30 years, you can take a loan up to 1.5, but it's based on up to minimum wage can afford it, right?
Yeah.
We don't want to make it so difficult for the, and now it says up to 1.5, but that doesn't mean you and I know the HDC homes that they're currently building, they are not worth more than 100, 150, 200,000. So people can actually build a nice two-bedroom starter home for
Yeah.
around 20,000 US, it is estimated. So I want the audience to understand what we are seeing in Trinidad and Tobago are such inflated prices of the housing community. HDC homes are going for over 1 million. You're paying a mortgage for this, but you're in a value that literally probably costs under 200,000 a unit to build it. So Progressive Empowerment Party is saying, look, you inherited some land. Okay, you have the land, but you need a loan. You could, you qualify for that. You can build your little two-bedroom. It probably won't even cost you under 200,000. You take out that loan, and under minimum wage, you can still pay that mortgage. Because Gail, you and I know home ownership at the Progressive Empowerment Party is one of our critical policies to solving many issues in this country. Home ownership, right?
Yes.
For
Yes.
home ownership, Gail, what do you think would be the difference in the community? If everybody owned their home, what do you think would happen? You see these nice little
Um.
homes.
Well, first to begin, I have to speak again on, well, within my area. People will feel,
Yes,
they'll feel, they'll feel as if they're worth something. A lot of little things, like owning your own home, having a proper job, will give you the confidence as a person.
yes,
So owning a home will boost your confidence, right? And you
yes.
will feel less of than any other citizen in Trinidad and Tobago.
Correct. Gail, you hit it on the nose. That is why we say the home ownership is critical to a society because once you own something, you feel and you have your little job, you feel you are a contributing member to society.
Right.
But right now, these neglected areas, how do we expect them to feel, Gail? How do we expect them to feel when no hope, no job, no home ownership? You're not even picking up the people trash. You're not even picking up the people trash. So how do you expect them to feel?
Worthless, as if you don't worth anything. This is how the residents around this area, this constituency, that's how they feel. Imagine,
Yes,
rent to own or mortgage to own, 2000, 2005. Right? The average person who working for minimum wage, that's their whole salary for the month.
right.
2,500, 2,800, 3,000 for the max. So how you could
Yes.
pay a rent to own or a mortgage to own on that salary? That could never add up.
Right. It's a system mailed. It's set up to fail the average citizen
Yeah.
on minimum wage. And you and I know in Trinidad, a lot of the jobs, we talk about the fast food because that was a critical part in that whole COVID-19, who
Hmm.
shut down and who didn't shut down. And we saw lots of lots of people, probably from your constituency, Gail, that weren't employed because of the fast food industry shutting down under COVID-19, right?
Yeah. Not only fast food,
Right.
also not only the fast food, but well, a lot of people around here work. They work in bars,
Ah,
the
right.
casinos. Same minimum
Yes.
wage, right? So when you get your
Right.
salary, a little 3,000 a month, you can't do much with that. You just it's just to pay your small bills and buy groceries for your family. Other than that, you can't
Right.
really do anything. So the system is just there. It's not for the people who working for small money. The system is not for the
No.
system is for people who works for money more than middle
Yes.
class. Yeah,
Yes, yes, Gail. Yes, you're really saying something that should resonate with everyone. Because you know, what you and I know, when you go to the grocery in Trinidad and Tobago, the prices change weekly. I mean, I am telling you this from living abroad,
yeah,
from traveling the world, because I lived in and I worked in an industry where it was travel, and the prices here literally change every week. You go in,
yes,
but you and I know, Gail, the average bill, if you buy the minimum in Trinidad, you are bound to spend more, 1,000 or more. The minimum, just the minimum basics a month can cost you up to 1,000
yes,
or more.
yes. Yes, that's the minimum. Yes,
Yeah.
and that's the minimum. Mind you, you still have to top up every week because even if you buy
Hmm.
a general grocery for the month, you might still have to
Yes.
buy market. On a Saturdays, you
Yes.
might still have to buy your different meat or whatever. So it's more than 1,000 by far. So it's
Correct,
all about
Gail.
survival in Port of Spain.
Yes.
Survival. You understand? And you
Yes.
live. The young people that say you eat small, you eat little, and you live. It's all about living out here. The survival.
Yes. Yes. And
Simple. If you
we should
can't
not be
survive,
as, yes, yes. If we as citizens, Gail, if we are in survival mode, we are going to feel hopeless because we are just existing to survive, right? That's all we're doing.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's why these communities feel so neglected, because there's nothing, no progress being made. They are just surviving, you know? Gail, last week you were in the heart of the riots last week, and I really wanted the audience to get your feedback
yeah,
on that. What did you think of that? Because we were very concerned for your safety because we knew you were literally in the heart of it. How did that play off? What was your feelings at that
yeah.
time?
Okay. Well, when everything started, I was in work in Laventille on the main road. So I saw the burning of tires, the garbage blocking on the road. I got frightened. I said to myself, "What is this? What this country has become?" I was angry. I was hurt. The traffic was like I took like almost 2 hours to reach in town from Laventille on the main road to Port of Spain. When I reached in town, it had so much of police gunshots I hear, and I was literally just hurt, ashamed to see what this
Yes.
country has become. Now you will
Yes.
say that you're accustomed to live because people will say that. Okay, but you are accustomed to this, you live in Nelson Street, but that is not the point. The point is,
Hmm.
yes, I'm accustomed to hear it, but it has gotten worse.
Yes.
It has gotten worse. It really, 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 it just getting from bad to worse. And I felt
Yes.
really hurt and angry, all right, to see that the youths of this nation taking that. If no, everybody have their rights to do the
Hmm.
protesting and stuff, but we need to think sensibly about what we're doing in this
Yes.
country, because at the end of the day, this country is our country. We need to take it back. We need to make it flourish, not more damage than how it is. We need to make it flourish, and that is not what I see in.
Yes, yes, Gail. They say riots, are the voice of the neglected in a society, right? And it is a way citizens feel the elected citizens they're basically screaming through riots to be heard. And it was so
Yes.
saddening. Just like you, I felt the same way. I could
Mhm.
not believe I was in Trinidad. I felt as though I was watching CNN and watching something else play out in another country. I saw it on social media. I mean, we made international news, and to see where our country has reached is it should be of grave concern to everyone, because those riots were a representation of where Trinidad stands right
Yeah.
now. Right now, that was a representation of where our country is headed, where we stand as a country. And I don't know about you, but those pictures of the shootings, the burning, it looked like a war zone, Gail. Did you feel like
Yes,
you were in a
I
war
was,
zone?
yes, it was real disturbing when I reached by the corner of Queen and Nelson Street. When I reach by the corner, I see all the army trucks actually hearing the gunshots. Don't know where these gunshots coming from. If it
Yeah.
sounds so close, but yet I know it's not coming from Nelson Street. I felt as if I was in a movie. Simple, as if it was
Yes,
a movie. I have to reach home fast. Duck here,
yes,
swinging here, running the stairs. Yeah, like a movie. I was not comfortable. The last time I felt so was in the last time I really felt as if my life was at risk was for 1990. I thought it was a next 1990 coming.
yes,
I wouldn't lie to
yes.
tell you that. I was really
No,
frightened.
no, no. It was very symbolic of that. I thought the same thing. I mean, due to COVID-19, most of my work is online now. So I was deep south when it
Hmm.
happened, very deep south. But I felt the same thing. It was very symbolic of 1990. It looked very 1990-ish to see that play out. And we, as citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, for
Yes,
those that rioted last week, it is a frustration level in this country right now that citizens feel no hope. They feel worthless. They feel they are not being heard, and those in parliament are not listening to their constituents. Gail, what do you think you can bring different to Port of Spain South? For those listening from Port of Spain South, what would you tell them, Gail? What are you going to bring different to that constituency?
okay, well, for me, I believe, as I said, I believe in the education. I
Mhm.
personally would like to bring some sort of relief to the youths again, those who cannot read and write properly, a remedial school, something like Alta. I don't think it have enough institutions like that to
Right.
implement something within this area for reading, writing, um, vocational school. I had an idea that I would have liked to do open a little trade center right within the community, right? Offer them some sort of hope, something where they learn a course, they could become marketable. Even if you don't get a job on the outside, you could do your own little private job within the area. So
Yes.
I would like to implement that within this area, this constituency, right? A trade
Yes.
school, a remedial school. Yeah, I would like to do that.
Yes. Yes.
Focus on the
And
youth
Gail,
some more.
right, right. And for those that, we are the force to deal with this coming election, because we represent the Progressive Empowerment Party, represents change in this country, represents bringing this country to a first world. But Gail, for those listening and for those in your constituency, what would you tell them to choose PEP? Why? Why would you say PEP is the political vehicle we need right now? What would be your reasoning to them?
Well, I will say that the Progressive Empowerment Party have vision. They have vision to fix all the systems that is going haywire in Trinidad. They have everything in place, ready to go. Problems, we have problems. Progressive empowerment have the solutions, right? Give us a chance. Yes, give us a chance, right? We could go forward with the Empowerment Party.
Yes, I like how you put that. It is a vision because as a country, we really have had. We saw the 2030 vision. Well, that the 2020 vision actually has now turned into
Yeah,
2030. But we saw that
yeah,
2020 vision released quite a while ago, and we are not near. Actually, we are in a more deplorable state, Gail, than we were when that vision was announced.
yeah,
So that
yeah.
is to tell you that is to tell you and our audience where we have come. My mother migrated, my family migrated over 60 years. My mother is 95. My mother migrated to the US in her 30s. And do you know at
Okay.
that time, Trinidad was in a better state? There were hospitals there was actually a hospital in Cedros that you could have given birth to. And now we just have a measly health center. We've actually digressed as a nation. We've
Yes.
digressed.
Yes. Yeah, I agree totally. Yes, we got worse. It was Yeah, it was
Yes,
better a few years ago. Yeah, we got worse. It just deteriorated, and it deteriorated very fast. Not slow, very
yes,
fast. I will be shocked to see if people go to vote the same PNM, UNC, PNM. I personally will not like to see what this country will become for the next 5 years. I
I
was talking to
thoroughly
my son.
agree with you.
Yeah, I was talking to my son the other day. I said, I say, Michael, mm-mm, I don't like how this country going. It's not. It just getting worse.
Yes,
It
yeah,
just
no, it is,
deteriorating.
and it really is, Gail. And I like how you said that fast because it really is digressing fast. And for those watching, if you don't see what is playing out in Trinidad and Tobago, we really are going downhill. We are on a path of no return, hence the reason this coming election is so critical to the survival of our nation, to the future of our children. So, Gail, Gail, can you imagine our hour has almost come to an end? In 30 seconds, Gail, what would you tell the audience? What are your parting comments for your constituents and the audience?
Okay, well, I would like to tell my Port of Spain South constituency to give Progressive Empowerment Party a chance this upcoming election, August the 10th. Go to the polling stations, vote, vote, vote for me and all the Progressive Empowerment candidates.
Thank you, Gail. Thank you. Gail, it is, we met briefly, but we've both been so busy. We haven't even had the time to
Yes,
really sit down and chat. We chatted, via WhatsApp and stuff. But thank you for your time today. I
no
wish you the
problem.
best of luck. I know you are going to represent Port of Spain South to the fullest. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have an electable candidate, a person willing to serve the community and serve the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. In closing, thank you for watching us today. Thank you for joining us for another edition of Pep Talks in the Morning. Stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago. Stay healthy. We still are under COVID-19 restrictions. So have a good day, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you, and pleasant day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Gail.